Welcome to the WanderLearn Show. I'm your host, Francois Tapon. In this episode, I have Fabrizio Beverina, who I actually met in the capital of Niger, which is called Niamey. And he and I hung out together for several weeks, thanks to our host, his name was Mala. And he was trying to repair his car. I was trying to repair my car. And a Portuguese mechanic was trying to do it. And it was a disaster.
Yes, near at the edge of the desert looking for repairing the car. By the end, you sold your car and my car died in the desert like 1 month later, you know. In the middle of the desert on the road to Chad, boom! The engine broke in the middle of the desert. It was quite tough. Yes. The mechanics of Africa.
Africa has a wonderful way of killing cars.
Yes. Yes. Especially, they have no spare parts. Complicated there, you know. I do understand, you know, the problem, but still, you know, was a kind of adventure for the car.
So I will give a quick overview of your life. You've been traveling for over 30 years. You've gone to maybe 60 countries. You tried to go to countries that are off the beaten track, and you've gone on Mongolia on horseback. You've done the Silk Road. You've done the Trans-Siberian Railroad. You've gone on motorbike around the Himalayas, in the Balkans, in South America, always on motorbike. You visited some of the stans in Central Asia. When you were in Africa, you were doing tattoos, and now you are traveling inward on an inward journey. I'm curious if it was COVID that inspired this inward journey, because you're trying to become a shaman in a jungle in Peru.
Yes, for sure. The COVID gave me the occasion to move, you know. Usually I feel very nomadic. So after 6 months I stay in a place, I have something inside my heart that it tell me, you have to move. But during this coronavirus time, I stayed 2 years in Peru with the shaman, and then there I had the occasion to explore other worlds, you know. So this new world that ayahuasca, this medicine from the jungle, is open me to, and I found it very interesting, you know. I tell you, you know, my background, I was a scientist for 10 years, you know, and this religious, spiritual thing was always out of my thinking, you know. I never was interested in these things, and I never believe in miracles and magic and this kind of thing, you know. And now living with these people and see these things happening, it makes me very curious, you know. Still with this researcher mind, you know, that I always have to explore things, you know, to go on the unknown.
Tell us a little bit about your scientific background.
Yes, for 10 years I was a researcher in brain-computer interface and emotional affective computer. So I program artificial intelligence to recognize the brainwave of the person and control a screen. More or less what Elon Musk is doing now. I was starting this like 20 years ago, even more. And then I made 2 startups about emotional learning. So I made an artificial intelligence that can interpret emotion and give to the child the right lesson that keep him involved, interested, you know. This was my scientific background, really biological based, you know, because I'm interested in emotion, in psychology, in brain, but very scientific, you know. Things have to be proven, repeated experiment, and, you know, go like this. At the moment, you know, instead I see things that I tell you my science cannot really explain yet. I think in the future science will get there. I don't believe science is not limited. It's always an evolving thing. So science is gonna go there. But at the moment I'm having experience that, wow.
So Fabrizio, you're a paradox, I thought, because when I first met you, I looked at you, and if nobody talks to you, the first thing you'll think of is that you're a hippie, because you have long hair, because you kind of, the way you dress, You kind of look like have a Rasta feel, and somebody heard that you did ayahuasca. All these things that would quickly categorize you as a hippie. And then yet one of the first things you told me when we were talking to each other in Niger is, Francis, I hate hippies.
Yes. Yes. What to do? Yes, exactly. I have these dreadlocks. Yes, I do have, but I'm very far away from the hippie way. I feel like a scientific person. I'm close to the nerds. I'm closer to the startupper. I wanna do something. Hippie don't do for me. I wanna do. I wanna
Right.
explore, do things. Not just enjoy life. Smoking a joint. Yeah, peace and love. It's not my style.
But there was another reason, Fabrizio. You also said that one of the things that bothered you about hippies is that you said they always talk about sharing and sharing and share the love and share this and share that, but they never actually give anything to you. They're always taking, and you're like, that's the part of the hippie culture that you didn't like. Yeah. So it's funny because if somebody looks at you, they think you're a hippie, but actually your mentality and your way of looking at the world is not stereotypically what we think of in the hippie way.
Yes, thanks. This is a compliment.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit about your journeys that you've been on. Like, for example, I know you've had so many different journeys, lots of crazy ones. Your car broke down in the middle of the Chad Desert. But tell me about, for example, what have you learned about driving a motorcycle in remote places? If you had to do it all over again, or if you listen to somebody and say, hey, Fabrizio, I want to go on a motorcycle all over South America or Central Asia or something like that, what would you advise them to do?
Buy a second-hand motorbike. Why? Because nobody is going to be interested in your motorbike. So you're going to be safe wherever you park it. If you buy a brand new fancy motorbike and you go in poor country, you look too rich, and so people is like less generous. You have a problem to park your bike because it looks too fancy, and people start to get too much interested in your bike. So it's better for me to keep a low profile, keeping something that is not so shiny, and I tell you also, in most of this country there are no great roads. They are always kind of messy, so you cannot even go fast. So don't buy a big motorbike. Buy like a 200, 150. It's enough. You don't need to go fast. You need to enjoy more and explore. You need only a way that brings you wherever you feel like to be. For me, this is the beauty of the motorbike, that I see a road that is not my road, that is not what I'm planning, and it looks interesting, and I say, okay, let's go. I have with me my things, my sleeping bag, my tent, and then, I can stop wherever I want. I can go wherever I want.
A big, heavy motorcycle also might be more difficult to push through mud and sand, right?
Yes, big motorbike consumes much more. When they fall down, to rise them is, when you have 200 motor kilos motorbike and you do some off-road, maybe your motorbike fell down, so it's also gets complicated, So I feel like something, and also having something fancy, maybe not everybody can repair it. Stay on the standard of the people. Look what they use. And use the same. So you have a motorbike or a car that everybody knows how to fix it. It's a standard bike. If you buy something fancy, European imported, maybe the moment you have a problem, nobody knows how to fix it. And this was also my problem in Africa. I came with a Jeep that was not common there. So when I need the spare part, big problem. The people have to invent things, but then, everybody's improvised mechanician there. No one is really with the proper knowledge. So boom, disaster, There is always some problem with second-hand motorbike. I learned to take this as a new input, So I stop in a place that it was not on my road. Wow, let's see what's happened here, Maybe there is something to explore. So don't take it negative when you have an accident. Take it positive, like a new possibility, a new way to look at the reality. You will never stop there. Now we are here waiting for your bike to be repaired. And like this, I tell you, very interesting experience start to happen. You end up in a place that you never want to be there, but then you discover very interesting people there, new experience. I tell you, I met a strange shaman, Mayan shaman, because my motorbike break there, and the mechanician say, "You are interested in these things? I bring you here." I met some narcos that I will never go and meet a narcos, but they see me with a broken bike, and then they get interested in me. They help me so I can say, "Oh, wow, I talk with the narcos. They're not so bad people, when sometimes they are generous, And so I give you more possibilities, You need, when you travel, for me, we need to get less stuck on our plans, And let's see what's happening, what the world is bringing to us, and not think, "Oh, fuck, it's against what I was thinking, it's not what I want." No, let's start to see, no, maybe it's interesting. Let's change our point of view. Let's find it, maybe there is an opportunity, This is a Japanese, I think in Chinese, a problem has the same character of opportunity, So it's not a problem, it's just a new opportunity, We not just need to change our point of view and, enjoy, Then ask what you can do. Or you get pissed off sitting with the mechanics complaining about how unlucky you are, or you change your point of view and say, "Wow, let's see what this mechanic had to show me. Maybe he's an interesting person. For sure, he lives in a different reality from what I'm used to. So maybe let's explore with him this reality, And things interesting can happen,
And that ends this episode of the WanderLearn podcast, where we explore travel, technology, and transformation. If you'd like to see the show notes with links to what we've talked about, go to WanderLearn.com and click on this episode. If you'd like to connect with me, just remember Tapon. That's my first initial and my last name. Tapon is always my social media username. My website is ftapon.com. Do you want to leave me an anonymous voicemail where you can make a comment or ask a question? Then go to speakpipe.com/ftapon. Furthermore, if you'd like to get rewarded for supporting my projects, then go to patreon.com/ftapon. That's where you can pick up some remarkable rewards for as little as $2 a month. Now, 5 quick favors. Number 1, subscribe to the WanderLearn podcast. 2, download it. 3, share it. 4, review it. And 5, sign up for my newsletter at wanderlearn.com. Our theme music was composed by Eric Stratman. This is Francis Tapon, encouraging you to wander and learn.